Hunter Biden, the son of U.S. President Joe Biden, was convicted on Tuesday of lying about his drug use to illegally buy a gun. Prosecutors charged him with 2 counts for allegedly lying about his drug use on paperwork to purchase a handgun, and 1 count for unlawfully possessing a handgun while using drugs. A 12-member jury found him guilty on all 3 charges, making him the first child of a sitting U.S. president to be convicted of a crime.
No one in this country is above the law.
U.S. Department of Justice Special Counsel David Weiss, who brought the Hunter Biden case, spoke after the verdict.
This case was not just about addiction, a disease that haunts families across the United States, including Hunter Biden's family. This case was about the illegal choices defendant made while in the throes of addiction.
The Delaware trial included prosecution testimony by Hunter Biden's ex-wife, former girlfriend, and sister-in-law, who gave first-hand accounts of his spiraling addiction in the weeks before and after he bought the gun in October 2018. Hunter Biden's lawyers, meanwhile, sought to show he was not using drugs when he bought the gun and did not intend to deceive. The judge set no date for sentencing, but added the timeline is usually within 120 days. Sentencing guidelines for the gun charges are 15 to 21 months. But legal experts say defendants in similar cases often get shorter sentences that may not involve prison. Hunter Biden has never held elected office, and the crimes for which he was convicted occurred when Joe Biden did not hold office. The Delaware trial follows the May 30th criminal conviction of former President Donald Trump on 34 counts for covering up a hush money payment to a porn star. Trump is the first former U.S. president to be found guilty of a felony. The Republican is again seeking the White House in the November 5th election. U.S. President Joe Biden on Tuesday touted his efforts to reduce gun violence and called for further restrictions on firearms at a rally in Washington.
Who in God's name needs a magazine which can hold 200 shells? Nobody, that's right.
The event, highlighting his efforts to curb illegal guns, came just hours after his son Hunter Biden was criminally convicted for illegally possessing a firearm while using drugs. On stage, the Democratic president did not mention his son's conviction. He spoke instead about his visits with families who had lost loved ones to gun violence and pointed toward the 2-year anniversary of the bipartisan Safer Communities Act.
It's the most significant gun legislation in nearly 30 years. It was designed to reduce gun violence and save lives, and I'm so proud of the tremendous progress we've made since then.
That legislation was spurred by mass shootings at a Texas elementary school and a New York supermarket. The law established new criminal offenses for the straw purchasing of firearms by buyers who lie about the gun's intended owner, among other provisions. And Biden underscored what he said were the administration's investments in public safety.
You know, the year before I came to the presidency, the murder rate was the highest increase on record. Last year, we saw the largest decrease of murder in history of it.
Meanwhile, the Democratic president faces a tough battle against former President Donald Trump to win a second term in the November presidential election. Just last month, Trump won the endorsement of the nation's top gun rights group and has pledged to unravel gun regulations put in place by Biden. The president is set to return to Wilmington, Delaware later in the day to be with his son.